This is a video addressed to the people who consider themselves at the upper echelons of society, but who are also involved in what some people would call satanic ritual stuff, satanic rituals. What you guys would consider just ritual magic, or using the secret science of nature to create positions of leverage for yourself that you use to gain what you need in this world. To you who are inspired by these spirits you come in contact with, or whatever you want to call them, entities, energies, knowledge, wisdom, occult secrets, there's something you need to understand, a pattern that you need to understand. A pattern that you see every day, especially in your actions, but you ignore, okay? I'm not 100% sure who I'm talking to, but to you who believe you have enough leverage to keep yourself alive, for one, or valuable to the masters, these spirits, these entities, whatever you think they are, aliens that you serve, whatever you believe they are, what you need to understand is the fact that they put you in a position of power over people that causes you to see those other beings, people, as less than you and expendable. You need to see that as high society and how awesome that makes you look to yourself and in the eyes of the rest of the world, and how much power that gives you. You need to understand that that's actually a pattern that's used among the lowest people that you think are scumbags. Imagine like gangsters, for instance. People, you can see this in movies. I know a movie is not necessarily real life, but it's based on real life. You're only as useful as you are when you can bring something to the table, right? And then you're expendable. So like you'll see in a movie, somebody betrays their family or their side for the sake of keeping someone alive. And the bad guy is like, oh, thanks for the information, but I don't really have to keep my side of the bargain, and they kill him. What you need to understand is the spirits and the beings behind those things, if they require you to treat others like that, they see you that way. So as much as you think you're useful to them, and they give you some kind of offer where it's like, oh, don't serve God in the afterlife when you can rule with us forever. What you don't understand is the fact that you use those patterns of expendability towards other people who are lower than you. Those entities see you the same way. So you could say, well, I'm competitive enough to maintain that kind of leverage. I can keep that kind of usefulness forever because I've been really good at doing it so far. You don't understand. Every person, I know this is against your belief, but every person has this intrinsic value, first of all. Second of all, they have intrinsic potential value in ways that you can't see, that are according to the real leverage and grace of the universe that makes leverage and value even possible. So what you're effectively doing is you're submitting yourself into the hands of something that sees you as completely not really worth anything, only worth what they can temporarily get out of you, and they're willing to torture you just like you're willing to torture whoever you're torturing to get that value out of. Like, let's say you're doing real rituals, like bad ones, where you are inflicting so much pain that you're trying to insert the tree of life into people. So those patterns of damage can use leverage. This, again, the pattern of leverage. It uses leverage at specific angles in the body to manipulate it through patterns of pattern recognition because of trauma, right? Which makes people more not clairvoyant necessarily. I know that's like a modern kind of pathetic term that the lay people use, but it's more like hyper aware and give you like vigilance and ability to see things and see through things and see through people that you wouldn't normally have. And you might see that as a good thing, but why would you inflict a dominant type like pain structure over people when just clearing your circuits in purity the way the real God says can give you that clairvoyance to the max and give it to you 1,000 times better, because that's really the way you were designed. So what you're doing is just foolishness. It's foolishness. You're serving things at the bottom of the hierarchies of angelic beings when you could be serving the real high ones. And you think you're not serving it, but really you're terrified. You're terrified of what those things would do to you if you don't obey them, first of all. And second of all, if you go rogue, or if you if you try to follow your own pattern or make your own way, you know that those things are gangsters. They have the corner on the market over the world. And that's why they force you into these things. But you can repent at any time. And if you did repent fully before God, it would be worth dying to get out of. So don't fear the devil. Just repent all at once. Repent just means change your mind, which means change your circuitry and the leverage of those things. You're literally just purifying your body through the sacrifice of Jesus, which is the same pattern you guys are using for power. You're just applying that spiritual debt and leverage to gaining in this temporary world, when you could just apply the sacrifice of Jesus willingly to your body and being to receive eternal in immense riches beyond your wildest dreams. Then you could just die. You wouldn't be afraid. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. He was one of the higher people in these circles, and he said straight up, the devil scares me. Why? Because he knows that he's owned by the devil, and all this leverage and blackmail he has on people, that's what the devil had on him. And he's expendable. Whether Jeffrey Epstein died or not, the devil's like, I don't have use for you anymore. You're public now. Boom, I'm taking you out. And if he's still alive and you guys know it, once again, he's going to an eternal hell. Because there's no way you can get away with hurting that many people, especially innocent children that you think are goyim or less than you, without receiving the just recompense of your debt. Because every time you hurt another human being, it doesn't matter how much you think they're not like the same race as you or not as valuable as you, that is a deception just to get you in more spiritual debt so that you can apply that spiritual debt to the world and gain physical riches with that debt. You know what I mean? It seems like it's tax-free for now, but in the afterlife, it's not tax-free, honey. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So every time you're hurting a child like that, you are racking up a debt that has to be repaid. It has to. And that's the type of pain that you can't repay without it being horrible. And you can look up enough videos of people who are a lot more innocent than you, young kids who just been like fooling around with sin a little bit. And they experienced hell to the max for like a minute straight, and they couldn't handle it. They were on fire. So imagine someone like you who's like hurting children and stuff. You are deceived. You think that you can get away with this stuff. You can't. There's no way. You're done. It's not worth it either. You should literally let whoever you're owned by and handled by kill you. But all you have to do is sit in a corner with God for a few minutes, confess everything you did, receive that leverage from his sacrifice to wash away your debt. Then you let them kill you. Or God protects you out of being killed. You can look up videos of people who escaped these exact things because God protected them and didn't let the demon handlers touch them. They had no authority. So It's up to you, but you're going to regret it if you stay in what you're doing, because the consequences for your actions are too great. And there is a way out, because the consequence is eternal death, and Jesus actually provided a way for that to be paid in full by him, no matter how bad you went. So it doesn't matter what humans believe. It doesn't matter if humans believe that that's not true or think you're too bad. Jesus paid the price, because he was literally the most valuable human that ever existed. And still is. I've seen him like multiple times on a throne, like shining as bright as the sun. And you have access to that every second of every day. So if I were you, I'd do something about that, like right now. Because you're racking up a spiritual debt that you can never pay. And I'm not saying you're going to sit in some jail like a debtor's prison or partying in hell or something, or ruling on earth or coming back. What you're going to do is you're going to experience the pain you've put on people, put on you, relived every day for eternity. There's no way out. And there's no way that that's not true either, because it doesn't make sense. You're literally killing eternal beings in their temporary form and inflicting eternal types of pain that will live on with them in an eternal type of way. So just the math, if you really just think it through, if you just sit and meditate on the fact that consequences are real, and to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, you can't escape that no matter what these beings promise you. It doesn't matter what they promise you, how much power they make you think that they can protect you from. It's just not the way it works. You can literally hit a cue ball on a pool table, and that will show you the exact angle that you're hitting it at always produces an equal and opposite angular force, you know what I mean, and momentum. So it's the same principle. That is the same principle as your eternal damnation that you're literally walking into, because you've damaged all these people. Now God's gonna damage you, whether you believe in it or not. So but he made a way, because he's God, and he made a way that makes perfect sense. Just think about it. Not worth it. All right, blessings.